Hello, welcome to Life Hacks. I'm Paul.
And I'm Flynn. Today, your lucky guest will be delighted to hear that we have a few crafty tricks that will definitely improve your lives for the better.
Yes, we've made everything simple using everyday things you'll find lying around the home.
And then we will link to our presenter, Abby, as she unveils some stunning natural money-saving beauty hacks.
And finally, you'll be joined by me and Flynn back in the studio, where we'll be demonstrating some awesome DIY hacks.
So first, let's take a look at today's household hacks. So I'm going to show you some revolutionary hacks that you can do with things you have lying around the house, making your life that little bit easier. So let's get started with what I have here.
What have we got first?
So first things first, we're talking about shirts. Now, button-up shirts, the smart shirts, right? Now I've heard that your shirts don't have any buttons on them anymore.
None whatsoever. They keep falling off.
Exactly.
Why?
Now the reason they keep falling off is because the buttons here, they're sewn on a little bit, you see, a bit of thread.
Right, yeah.
And that thread gets frayed, it gets loose, and eventually it comes undone. Button pops off.
Yeah,
So what you can do to fix that is you can use nail varnish.
Luckily, I still have my nail varnish in my pocket.
Perfect.
It's mine.
So what you do here
I finished with it.
is you take a little bit of nail varnish,
Yeah.
not too much, and you simply apply it onto the thread of the button.
Yeah.
Now what that does is when it dries,
Yeah.
it will solidify and sort of like glue. It will stop the thread from unfraying, and it will.
And I got my buttons back.
And you got your buttons back. They'll never fall off
Good
again.
one. I like that
Keep
one.
looking
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah.
And on the topic of keeping looking smart,
Yes.
say you're traveling for a nice job interview.
Yes.
Right. You want to pack your shirt, but you don't want to have to carry an iron with you,
I'm so tired of carrying irons everywhere I go.
It's a bit of a mission, isn't it?
It's a nightmare.
But you want to keep you want to keep your collar nice and pressed. You want to keep it all fancy.
Yeah.
So what you can actually do is you can take your belt that's rolled up here. You can you roll it up.
Yeah.
You put it inside the collar, and then when you pack it,
Yeah.
as you can see,
Yeah.
it stops. You look at that. It stops it from getting crushed, and
Perfect.
it's exactly
Nice crisp collar.
nice
I like
crisp
that.
collar,
Good
looking
tip,
smart
good tip.
all the time, easy travel. Don't
Good
worry
stuff.
about
I
it.
like that one.
Staying on the topic of clothing here.
Yeah.
We have ourselves a rather nasty sweat-stained
Yeah.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
Right. It's not very pleasant,
No.
armpit stains.
Yeah.
Now you can get rid of these using just a lemon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So what you do is you take a lemon and you cut it in half. Here's one I made earlier. And you simply rub the lemon and the juice
Fantastic.
onto the sweat stain.
That gets rid of the stain.
That gets rid of the stain, and then after you're done, you'll put it in the wash and it'll get rid of all those lemony bits.
And you can use the other half of the lemon on your chips.
You can.
Good stuff. I like it.
Now that you've mentioned chips,
Yeah.
what else do you like putting on your chips? Come on.
Salt, vinegar.
Vinegar.
Yes.
And we happen to have a big bottle of vinegar here. Now you can use this in conjunction with a bit of newspaper to clean your windows.
How?
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 Let me show you. Take any newspaper
Yeah.
at all. It really doesn't matter. I like using the Sun, but it's up to you.
I might use the Mail on Sunday.
So, all you got to do, you take your bit of vinegar
Yeah.
and you douse a little bit of newspaper in it.
Yeah.
Not too much, nice and easy.
Yeah.
You go up to your window, and like you're cleaning it normally, all you do is you rub it like that.
And that gets all the marks off the window.
It gets all the grime, all those little, dog paws or dog noses, whatever, whatever kind of grime you get on your windows.
There's quite a few unusual ones as well.
Yeah.
Yes. And your house will smell of chips.
Your house will smell like chips,
Happy
which
days.
to some people is a benefit, to
Yes.
others maybe not so much.
It's an improvement. Yeah. I like that.
Alrighty.
It's good stuff.
Now, sticking with vinegar, I see you found the baking soda.
What on earth is this for?
Well, why don't you mix these two together and see what happens?
Volcano.
You get a volcano,
Yes.
thinking back to the primary school days. So you mix them together, and
Spelled for that.
yeah.
Go on.
And as you know, you get a lot of bubbles, a lot of chaos.
Yes.
And so instead of creating mess, you can use it to clean your drains. All you've got to do is pour them down your drain together, and the resulting chaos will actually clear out your drain for you.
Fantastic.
It's perfect.
That is a great tip. That is.
Yeah.
I'll be doing that as soon as I get home.
Awesome.
They're not even blocked.
So for a final tip here, we've got a Desperados bottle, a bottle of beer. And we turned it into a glass. Now you can do this
Wow.
by taking a piece of cloth, dousing it in nail varnish remover, and you set fire to it. All right, not going to do it here, but you set fire to it and you spin it as it's burning, douse it in a bucket of ice cold water and the top will fall right off. And then all you do is you sand it down and then it's good to go as a glass.
Just a drink. And you
Yeah.
can drink from that. That's fantastic.
Well, there you have it, today's update on household hacks. Now over to Abby to spill her secrets on beauty hacks.
Looking forward to that.
So I'm Abby, and today I do beauty hacks, and I'm gonna go through a lot of things that will make your life when it comes to beauty so much easier. I'm gonna start with this lip scrub. It's bubble gum, and then you're just gonna rub it onto your lips. And it's sugar in it, so it just scrubs all of the skin off. You can look at it because it tastes really good. When it comes to fake tan, I know that can be a nightmare sometimes. And if you have baking soda and you mix that with water, you can just rub that onto wherever you've got your patches, and it really clears it up a bit, so the patches don't look as bad. And then you can go out, if you're going out on a night out, you don't look like it's all fake. You can look like you've come back from your holiday and it's all good. The next tip when it comes to mascara, I've got an old one here, and I just use the brush for my eyebrows because you get a nice set. It brushes all of the hairs and everything into a nice shape. So if you don't want to draw them on, but you want them to shape nicer, then use a mascara brush because it's the best thing. And they are still a bit sticky, so it gets the good shape. Some hacks for your hair is, if you have a load of split ends, I know that I do, is you just put your hair in a ponytail and then just use scissors, just trim the ends of your hair, then it just gets rid of all of them and it's just so much easier. If you can't wash your hair and you haven't got any dry shampoo with you, if you have baby powder, like talcum powder, just put some of that into your hair and just brush it through. You can use that as well, and it will just make your hair it won't look as greasy, and it's a great thing to use. Next, I'm going to talk about your teeth. So there's black coal here. For 2 minutes, you just brush your teeth with the coal and then wash it out with water after. You will then soon see an improvement and your teeth will be so much whiter. Another thing to use is, I've got PVA. You use charcoal, you get it onto your fingers, and then with PVA glue, you mix them together. And then what this does is it becomes a kind of mask, and then you leave it to set. So you put this over all of your face, just leave the circles around your eyes and around your nose, and you mix it all over. So you've got a nice thick layer of black coal. Then when it's all dry, you can peel it off, and it just clears your skin completely. It peels out all of your pores. So if you've got any blackheads or anything, it will all lift off, and you'll see it in the end result after. You'll see on the back of the mask that it's all nice and clear. Next, I'm going to show you is, if you use lip balm, it doesn't matter what one, it really doesn't matter. And then you rub that onto your nails before you paint them. It just smooths them out a bit, so it's a nice cleaner polish. It looks like you've gone and got them done in a store, which is nice. Another hack with your nails is, if you've got eyeliner or a marker pen or anything, you can use them to draw patterns on your nails. So for example, if we do a little flower now, there we go. Just put a top coat over the top, and then you can have all your patterns on your nails and everything.
Welcome back to the studio, where we're joined again by Flynn.
Hey.
And he's going to be helping me demonstrate some easy ways to do hands-on work without the hassle and the mess and the mistakes. Now, we'll be looking at how to drill the perfect hole into a wall. what to do when you want to hide the brackets for putting your shelves up, and also what to do with all that sawdust that often falls on the carpet.
Okay.
Now, before we start, I've got an extra tip for you, Flynn.
Oh, yeah?
Something to do with all the old doorknobs you've got lying
Yeah,
around.
my old collection.
I've seen them. All you've got to do is pop one of your doorknobs onto the wall and it becomes a handy coat hanger. So when your friends come round, they can hang their coat on your knob. Yeah. Now, whilst we're on the subject of screwing things into the wall, if you're going to drill something into the wall, a great tip is to use a CD to guide your drill.
I see. And what CD have you got here?
Now, personally, I like drilling with Shania Twain. The reason being I find the hole just the right size for the job. Now, all you have to do is pop this up to where you're going to put it on the where you're going to put your drill on the wall, guide your drill through the hole, your fingers are safe, and the drill goes exactly where it needs to on the wall.
Awesome.
And then your CD is still good for using afterwards. It's a great tip. Now, whilst we're on the subject of drilling into the wall, we're going to create a bit of a mess. So a great tip, when you're drilling into the wall and all the sawdust comes out, what you do is grab yourself a nice envelope, just tape the envelope under where you're drilling, and then open it up, and all the sawdust will fall into the envelope, and then you can seal it up and send it to someone you don't like.
A family member, perhaps?
Yes, indeed, yes. Auntie Margaret. So, now, also, whilst we're on the subject of walls, when you're nailing something into a wall, now the industry standard for holding your nails is like so in the mouth.
Yeah.
But
if I come up and say, hey, Paul, how you doing?
well, they're going to go one way and you're not going to see those for a few days.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I've secured a magnet to my hammer.
Genius.
And just pop the nails on the magnet, and they're very handy for you to use and safe.
And where do you get the magnet from?
Any cheap shop, DIY shop, toy shop, craft shop, anything will do them.
Perfect.
Now, another good tip to keep your fingers safe when you're nailing into the wall is get yourself a bit of cardboard. Any piece of cardboard. I'm using Rice Krispies. Now, all you do is take your nail and you pop the nail through the cardboard like so.
Okay.
And then when you hammer that into the wall, once the nail is fully through, you just rip the cardboard out, nails in the wall, and your fingers are ready to go for another job.
Perfect. You always
Very
need
handy.
fingers for absolutely everything.
Oh yes, very handy fingers. So there we go. Now, also, can you tell me what this is, Finn?
I have never seen one of those before.
This is a floating shelf invisible bracket. Now what this does is when you screw this into the wall, your floating shelf will slide onto it and completely hide the bracket, just like it's floating.
Okay.
Got this from the Harry Potter shop.
Nice.
Yes, it's very good. Now, a little tip for screwing into the wall, to make your screws go in easier, is drill a hole into the wood first. So imagine this is our lovely wall.
Yep. Perfect bit of wall we got here.
Perfectly straight. And pop the bracket on. Just make a couple of little marks where you're going to put your hole. Get a drill bit about the same size as the screw, slightly less than the screw, and pop that into the hole and drill away. Nice clean holes into your wood. Now what happens is when you pop your bracket on and you start to screw into the hole, your screw will go in with no effort whatsoever. Like,
Look at that.
bump, like
Easy.
so. Easy peasy. And then other screw in the hole, job done in 30 seconds. Like so.
Look at that.
And there you have a perfect bracket. And also, if your wall happens to be wonky, you can still put a straight bracket on like I have.
Perfect.
Isn't that a good tip? Yes. Now, finally for you, I've got a fantastic tip. If you're going to kind of frame something with a piece of wood and you want an exact 45-degree angle, what you can do is get yourself one of these.
Okay, what's one of these?
This is a mitre box, Finn. Now, what this does is, if you pop your piece of wood into the mitre box like so, you see there are slots
Yep.
in
And
the
they
box.
got numbers on them.
And they've got numbers and angles. Now, these are exactly 45 degrees angles. So all you do is you pop your saw in the slot. Then as you go sawing away, it'll keep it vertical and exactly at 45 degrees angle.
Perfect.
You can even go at a 45-degree angle this way, down into the wood. So you can get yourself a really professional job, and people will think that you are indeed a professional, even though you've never done it before.
Yeah.
Isn't that fantastic?
That's
So
awesome.
I'm sure now you can now set up your own DIY business with these tips, can't you, Finn?
So, sadly, that's all we have time for today. Thank you for watching, and we hope that you go practice these simple tips and tricks for yourselves. We'd love to see how you get on with them.
We would indeed. Now, please send in any of your success stories and any perhaps of your not so successful stories without the graphic photos, but we'd just like to learn from them. Send them in to the email address on the screen below, and we'll hopefully show them in next week's show.
That's all from us. See you next week, and we hope you really enjoyed what we had here.
Yes, don't forget to send them in, and we'll perhaps show them next week. Take care.
Cheers.
Thanks very much. Bye.
Bye.